Hello everyone, welcome back to Crochet Delight and welcome back to another installment of Hot Off the Hook Friday. So, hi, I'm Barbara and this is Hot Off the Hook Friday. So, I hope all of you guys are staying safe. I hope no one is getting too worried about the pandemic that's going on. But crocheters, knitters, weavers, this is what we've trained for. Doing all these projects, staying home and working. And hopefully there are times when you guys can get out, because a month long here in Maine, a month long quarantine will make one very depressed. So, sorry for my hair. It wants to go like that. I just woke up and it just wanted to cover my face. But, so, if any of you have anything to send in for next week or at all this month, go ahead and do it. The email for that is in the description box below. It's in the description of every video. Don't worry, seriously, don't worry if you don't have anything to send in. And by send in, I mean a photo with like a brief description. Don't worry if you don't have anything, because it doesn't matter. It's not an obligation. I'm just pretty much filling airtime. So, I do have something. It's right here. Let's see if I can get it. So, it's gonna look a little odd from this angle, but I had the privilege of testing a pattern for Namaste and Crochet, and this is her pattern. It's a angel top. So normally you would have the ruffle in the front. This ruffle is in the back. So, can't really tell if you guys can see that well. And then this is the back. And then, see, this is the ruffle. It drapes over the back of your shoulders, and I'm going to put it around me just to get it out of the way so I can show you what the rest of the back looks like. So that's what it looks like, and I've actually tried it on. I made the size small, and what I did was I used a completely different yarn than what she needed, and the math came out great, and the fit is perfect. I mean, I have to tie it a little tight because I did not make this long enough. I did make it about 100 and 100, so a total of 200 chains long, like she had in the pattern, but should have gone with 150 to 200 per side, because it goes from way up here, and you make the chain as you're working, and then you go back through and down, and that's pretty much how you get the chain that will be woven through to make the corset. And you do the same thing for the strap. So there's no cutting and then reattaching and then cutting and then reattaching again. There's none of that. So the only thing you have to cut and reattach is the shoulder drape, which if you wanted to take the shoulder drape from this pattern and put it on the front, it's perfectly okay to do that. You can even put it on something completely different. But unfortunately, this is the only thing I've made and completed this week. No, it's not gonna stay. There we go. It's gonna stay now. But I am working on another thing, I found this old project that I had at my other house. We really have I have a lot of yarn. I only have half of it in my, well, maybe not even half of it up here in my craft room. But this is the other project. And what it is I cannot remember the name of this pattern, but you're essentially doing a granny square stitch and then a chain one, and then the next row you are doing this, a single crochet, chain two, single crochet. And I'm using a variegated yarn because I love it. And the one that I'm using is actually a Burnett Pop yarn. So it's going to go through all of these colors, and I have two more over that way to use for this. And I'm using, this is yarn that I got from a little old lady. I'm using the 1 pound deluxe acrylic something. I'm not even gonna attempt it. There's about 16 ounces right here, and it's a big one. She originally paid $4 for it, and I got it pretty much for free. Ooh, is that a pattern? Oh, I didn't know there's a pattern with this. So apparently there's an actual pattern on here, because one thing I hate is, like, if you're going to get Lion brand yarn and they display a pattern on the label and then they don't give you the pattern. You have to go onto Lion brand and either download it there, or I think they've even had people buy the pattern. No. We're taking the time and our money to buy your yarn. Give us a free pattern. A small free pattern. Red Heart does a crap ton of hats and scarves. And every now and then a baby blanket. But anyways, so the only thing I find kind of boring about this pattern, or a little too much, is I constantly have to go from end to end, and with these rows, the single crochet rows, you literally have to unattach it. You literally have to snip the yarn and then start that row, and then you have to go back and start that row. I'm just starting it. I'm going back and forth. I will cut it, but I'm not going to take the time to go, if I end here, I'm not going to go all the way to this end and redo it. I'm just going to start from this end and go this way, because it doesn't make that much of a difference once you block it. I mean, if you're a stickler and you really want to go all the way back to the other end, because you're supposed to go back to this end, whichever end it is you started the project on, and I've got a stitch marker to indicate that, go for it. But I don't really see the point in it, because either way you do it, just to get it the right way, you're gonna have to cut the yarn either way. So this is one project that's still in the works. I have not worked on it for 3, maybe 4 months, and I don't know why it's just sitting up here, and I'm just gonna crochet a little bit. But let's see. Oh yes, Paradise Fibers. Paradise Fibers is actually pairing up with a little shop. I could not pronounce the name of the shops to save my life, but they are pairing with a shop, or maybe 2 shops, for yarn to bring more yarn to everybody. So the link to Paradise Fibers is right down in my description box. Go ahead and follow that, and I'll try and continue to bring you guys more news. And as of yesterday, you found out that I'm no longer going to be getting the Paradise Fibers box. I'll make that hole bigger. Thank goodness. Kept the yarn right in the bag that it came in. But the reason why is because I lost my job because of this quarantine that is happening here in Maine. It's a 30-day quarantine. It's actually the first day that I will be able to actually get out of my house is the 1st of next month. And even then, they might extend the quarantine because not many people are taking it seriously. But I'm hoping people start taking it seriously, and I'm hoping that this will all end soon. But I lost my job, which I'm a dog sitter, and I only have one client, so I don't get that much for anything. So now that I don't have a job at all, I just have to cut back on a lot of things. I did, however, way before the quarantine happened, I purchased a pair of crochet hooks. They're Afghan hooks. And one of the ways that I'm determined to learn how to knit. So one of the ways that you can do that is you can actually use Afghan hooks and teach yourself through that. It helps you grab the yarn a little better each time you try to do a stitch. And then, of course, I've got plenty of knitting needles. I'll just go through, go away notification. I'll just go through and I'll switch from the Afghan hooks to knitting needles when I feel like I fully can knit without the aid of a little hook at the end of the needle. But I'm determined because I keep seeing these gorgeous, gorgeous little shawls and everything, and I want to make them, but I don't have the skill set to do that. So I want to try and prepare myself for it. So I bought size G crochet hook Afghan hooks. That'll be a decent size for me to work with because I like working with a G hook. I don't like working with, let's see, this is a H, which is an 8 and which is also a 5mm hook. I'll go up to this size. I don't go any bigger. I don't go any smaller than I have to. Like with lace, there is a size hook that I will go to, but I'll make sure that I have that in an actual crochet hook and not one of those steel hooks because there's no point to doing that. I mean, yes, if you want a really tight stitch, but if you want to be fumbling all over your stitches trying to do anything with those little hooks, I'll stick with those for crocheting with beads. But I found one size hook that for my tension, my gauge, and everything works perfectly. Everyone's different, so if you like to work with those hooks, go for it. Nobody in the world is going to stop you because that's what you are accustomed to working with. But there was another thing. Oh, yes. And as you guys know, I have a Turkish drop spindle. And right now I have my wool kind of wound into a wool rose. So I've actually gotten a little further with it since I showed you yesterday, and it's so adorable. Look at all that wool. And I'm doing what's called turtling. It's where I can, let me see if I can get it up close. I can get that pretty little pattern just by going just by going over 2, under 1, over 2, under 1. And if any of you are interested, yes, I will do a tutorial on how to do this. I had to actually watch a tutorial on how to do this because I've seen a lot of spinners use these, and I wanted to know what all the fuss was about, but I didn't want to start too big, so I got a small one. And $19 later, I'm actually deciding, yes, it was worth the price. And heck, I am thinking about getting a bigger one, but not right now. Once I get back to work, I'm probably going to get a bigger one. But for now, tiny one, it'll do great for making mini hanks of yarn. Like I can spin it up on my wheel if I want to, and then use this to ply it, and then once this is full, I have the full amount for the yarn that I'm gonna put into little mini hanks and sell for a mini collection, which I'm very excited that I'm actually getting to do that, because I think mini yarns are adorable, mini spindles are adorable, so I'm very excited to actually be able to bring a mini collection into my skill set, my little basket. And I just really love working with wool. Put it back into a little rose, and as you can hear, it's raining outside again. It's been raining for quite a while, but alright. I think that is it for now, so I will let you guys go, and I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are staying warm. I hope you guys have plenty of food. So stay safe and stay healthy during this quarantine, if you guys even have a quarantine where you are. Alright, have a delightful day, and happy hooking, everyone. Bye!